Typically, we go to the hospital to treat an illness that we already have. But what if you walked in the hospital with a common cold, but left with something much more serious, such as MRSA or other infectious diseases? According to an article written in 2017 by Stacey Haverstick, an RN with critical care nurse, this was the case for about 722,000 individuals in 2011. These illnesses that people contract in the hospital are called HAIs, or hospital-acquired infections, and the most common mode of transmission for these is through contaminated hands. I've spent hours researching how germs affect our lives and how something as simple as hand washing can help us in defense against bacteria. Today I'm going to be talking about hand hygiene. First, I'm going to talk about how much bacteria we pick up throughout our everyday lives and how it can affect us. Second, I'm going to talk about how and why people don't wash their hands. Finally, I'm going to explain how to properly practice hand hygiene. First, I'll discuss how many germs we pick up. Second, I'll explain how these bacteria can make us sick. Germs are everywhere. We pick them up when we sneeze, cough, or come in contact with pretty much anything. According to an article written in 2008 by Deborah McKenzie, a journalist with The New Scientist, titled "The Feminine Touch Carries More Germs," the average person's hands carry at least 3,000 bacteria belonging to more than 100 different species. These germs can have a large impact on our lives. Next, I'm going to discuss how much of an impact these germs can have on our lives. According to an article written in 2017 titled "Hand Washing: Clean Hands Save Lives," the germs that we catch on our hands can often lead to different respiratory infections and can cause diarrhea, salmonella, and E. coli. Now that I told you about how easy it is to pick up bacteria, let me tell you about how many people don't wash their hands or don't do it properly. First, I'm going to tell you how many people don't wash their hands. Second, I'm going to tell you about how many people don't wash their hands properly. According to an article written in 2005 by the Minnesota Department of Health, a study done by the American Society of Microbiology showed that only 75% of females and 58% of males wash their hands after using the public restroom. Although hand washing is so simple and effective, many people neglect to do it at all. So even though only 58% of males and 75% of females wash their hands, let me tell you about how many of those actually wash their hands properly enough to kill the bacteria. According to an article written in 2013 by A. Chan, a journalist with the Huffington Post, a recent study in the Journal of Environmental Health found that only 5% of individuals properly wash their hands long enough to kill infection-causing bacteria. So not only are people not washing their hands at all, most of them are not even doing it properly. Now that I told you about how many people don't wash their hands or don't do it long enough, let me tell you about the solution to this problem. First, I'm going to tell you about why you need to practice hand hygiene. Second, I'm going to tell you about how to do it properly. According to an article written in 2000 by Ruth Lexier, an RN with Infection Control Today, hand washing is the single most effective way to prevent transmission of antimicrobial resistant organisms, such as the bacteria that cause MRSA in humans. Hand washing is so simple, yet so effective. 30 seconds of your day could save you weeks of illness, time, money. Proper hand hygiene should be pretty simple, but many people rush through it without doing it properly. According to an article written in 2014 by Purva Mathur, an author with the National Institute of Health, titled "Hand Hygiene: Back to the Basics of Infection Control," we need to wash our hands every time we use the restroom, before and after having food, and any time our hands are visibly dirty. If the dirt isn't visible, an alcohol-based sanitizer is usually sufficient. To properly wash your hands, lather some soap on your hands, making sure you get in between your fingernails and underneath your nails. Scrub for at least 20 seconds, rinse and dry. The steps are pretty simple. It shouldn't be too difficult to get rid of those bacteria that can potentially cause a really serious infection. We have discussed the importance of hand washing and how to practice hand hygiene. Now that I've told you about how easy it is to pick up germs, how many people don't wash their hands properly, if at all, and the significance of hand washing and how to do it properly, I hope you can leave here today with an understanding of how something so simple yet so simple yet so effective can save you so much time, money, and health of yourself and those around you, if done properly and often enough. Whether you come in contact with something that could potentially make you sick, whenever you feel you've come in contact with something that can make you sick, which is pretty much everything, practice hand hygiene to greatly reduce the risk of yourself or those getting ill. I hope you leave today understanding the importance of hand hygiene and persuaded to want to do it more.